Steven, I think they're ready for us. You ready?
Huh?
So, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of We Got Next. This one, super excited for because, as you all know, we've been hinting at it. We're going to do our basketball challenge again. We have the fantasy stuff and we have NFL picks that we're going to get into. Um, Before we do that, what's up with the quick slants and how are you doing? You're alive.
Yeah, went out to Ann Arbor last weekend. Quick Science actually is already out as we speak. I recorded it yesterday. This is a lot going on with Penn State football, man. Got dismantled by Michigan on Saturday. Went out there with my brother-in-law BJ, my uncle, a guy we tailgate with, and my cousin. Then met some other people out there that we've been tailgating with over the years. I have a buddy who I went to college with who was from Ypsilanti, which is like I think 15 minutes from Ann Arbor. So went out there Friday night, flew out there Friday, had a dope time. Ann Arbor is a great college town. It's a lot like State College. Tons of bars, tons of people. Penn State traveled well. One of the bars we went to is called Scorekeepers. And after we got there early, but like late night, Penn State fans had taken over the bar, and it was cool. Everything was good up until 2 p.m. on Saturday when Michigan started kicking our ass. And then kind of just went downhill from there, and that kind of like ruins like the second half of the trip. The flight home was like pretty miserable. We weren't like hungover, but like just exhausted from the day. Overall, though, like I can't complain. It was a good trip. Stadium's awesome. Fans are cool. Yeah, it just sucks that we got beat by that much. Yeah, quick cents are out. I'll probably actually post it while you're talking about your crypto stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure to go on and follow the Quick Slants on Twitter at the Quick Slants. Check out the episode tonight. Do a little Michigan recap, and then we play Minnesota on Saturday, which is the whiteout. 7:30 on ABC, which your boy will not be attending. First whiteout I've missed
15
in
years.
15 years, bro. Kind of upset about that, but I'm going to the Ohio State game next weekend in State College, which is not a whiteout, not a 7:30 game. It's a noon game, so it's like the complete opposite. So hoping the boys get the W this weekend. I think they will. And kind of set up like a little more anticipated game against Ohio State in 2 weeks. So or in a week, whatever. So yeah, quick slants will be out in like 3 minutes. So go check it out.
Perfect. So with that being said, as Steven's doing that, I do want to end up saying a couple of quick things in terms of the spaces. We had episode 31 this past week, still did it on the go. As you all know, we have to always end up putting them out there for you all. Another thing is just going into some NFT stuff. So I did sell my DeGod for everyone out there that probably was like, why did you change your profile picture? I sold it. I'm continuing to monitor the market. I will, of course, be getting back in to DeGods. It was just at a point I couldn't necessarily turn down, and I saw what Solana was doing. So I ended up being able to get like 235, 240 Solana for that one, which wasn't bad. The other thing is, and this is the reason why I did it, Magic Eden took away their royalty fees. So it is 0% creator royalty. Now it's kind of adjusted. You can end up choosing what you want and end up making it. They took away their they took away their marketplace fee as well. So it's almost straight zeros for some of them. I know some other ones still do have their creator fees. And the last thing I want to tell you guys about is the stock market will continue to go up and down. For everyone that thinks like, oh, you're going to move in ebbs and flows with CNBC, and then when they say things, it's all scare tactics. It's all trying to get you to end up freaking out, then get happy, then freaking out. But try not to end up focusing on that. Just if you're invested, stay in it for the long haul. If you're not invested, continue to monitor and observe the market. Those are the big things I wanted to say there. I want to segue into sports because that's kind of the big thing. We want to hold a lot of this time for sports between basketball and football. But before then, I think out of this whole season and probably the past 2 years, this has been the most college football I watched. I was in like 2 different places. I watched almost the whole Alabama Tennessee game. When I was flying back from Miami, I was talking to this dude that went to LSU. So he was definitely happy about Tennessee winning. Good people. I swear the South can have the best people or the worst people in the world. There is no in between.
Yo,
Like they
I gotta
will.
go check on the little man real quick.
Okay,
I'm gonna take a
you're
quick
fine.
pause. I'll be right back.
You're good. So the big thing is when it comes to LSU, hearing him talk, it was just dope. We were just in line. TSA took goddamn forever. So we were end up just talking about Old Dominion, where I went to school. He told me like he put some bets on Old Dominion. And then we also ended up just talking and catching up about LSU and different experiences that he had down there. He was super hype about the Alabama game. I had the outcome of that one. I also watched James Madison. James Madison did lose, which is crazy. This was the first time being ranked in the top 25. Illinois won. I didn't see that game as much. I did pay attention to that Syracuse and NC State game. That was another game that I was watching. I was like, damn, Syracuse ended up pulling off a good upset. They're still undefeated, which is a huge thing. And that one, I saw TCU. Of course, like the colors was always something dope that people were talking about. But TCU and Oklahoma State, they went into overtime. I saw that one. Another one was the shootout that happened in Utah. So you had Utah and USC. That was another big game that people were watching because USC was undefeated. So this was a week like a couple of undefeated teams end up getting their shit rocked. As Steven brought up earlier, Michigan and then Penn State. I saw some of that one, but between like being in the beach, between drinks, I didn't really follow that whole game. So I texted Steven. But what I will tell y'all is that the one and only homies, Old Dominion University, did get the W. So congratulations to them. But those are the main things I wanted to talk to you guys about over there. The other part, and I'm going to start with the NBA. It's going to be a fun season. There are a lot of different people, a lot of different teams that you end up having to focus on, a lot of different players that are coming back from injury. We have Jamal Murray that's back, so you're going to see him get into a better game-ready shape. Last night had great games. As of this recording, it's Thursday, so I'm talking about the Wednesday games. Pistons game was good. Ivy and Cunningham did well. That was just a game to show you like all the highlights of the young players between the Magic and the Pistons. So it does show you what is going to be out there. Wizards Pacers was another good one because Halliburton, hint for later on in the show. Halliburton put on a good show, although the Pacers ended up losing. Bradley Beal is back, so shout out to all the DC fans that are hyped to end up seeing Bradley Beal back. So that was one. Then the Hawks and the Rockets was another good game because you have DeJounte Murray that is now on the Hawks, which takes a lot of pressure off of Trae Young. So that was beneficial to them. Rockets are going to be the Rockets. They're more so caring about, the homies that are coming on the draft next year more than they're really trying to focus on the playoffs. The Nets, they're going to have to break that team up. I know I heard Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins talking about maybe Steve Nash is going to be gone. If they don't do anything well this year, something a part of that team is going to be split up. Ben Simmons is who he thought he was. There's no changing. That's who he's always going to be. The Pelicans have a really good team. For people out there that didn't realize that, Ingram is legit. Zion Williamson is legit. And then they also have CJ McCollum, who's the perfect piece for them because he has that veteran-ish leadership. And then they have Jonas Valanciunas, a former Memphis Grizzlies. So always loved them. So that's that one. Bulls, DeMar DeRozan is who we thought we were. It also pisses me off because if you're on ESPN, you could see the picture that they used for Jimmy Butler. I don't know why the hell they have him with his fake ass long locks. I don't actually want. They do. And it is really annoying me that that's the picture that they end up choosing. So I'll share my screen with you all for 2 seconds. And it is such a disappointment just to see this because they could have chose any.
Oh, no, my man. Yo. Oh, come on.
You could have chosen any picture. And you said, yep, that's the picture.
Come on.
So going off of Jimmy Butler, he was one player that I had last year on the team. And Steven, can you tell us the rules of how this goes? And then we'll start hashing out all the details for it.
I guess. See how this goes. So we all pick so you and I pick a squad. We have 5 players. So you said a 6-man. So I did 5.
Oh no!
Starters.
So we choose the 6-man of the year.
So we do 5. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I gotta think about that one. Are we doing that right now?
We don't have to.
Okay, I haven't even thought about that yet.
Yeah.
So we do 5 starters, and last year we did point guard, shooting guard, the whole thing. This year we're just doing 5 players.
Yeah.
And then 2 bench guys.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's
bench
the
guys.
Christian rule for everyone out there, because I texted Steven so much today for
Yeah.
clarification.
Yeah. It's the second year doing it. So we're still getting used to this whole thing. And then for the team wise, you pick a team from each conference who made the playoffs last year. And then you pick a team who did not make the playoffs last year.
Clarification on that. What does it mean to make the playoffs for people that are wondering? Because we have the play-in tournament.
Play-in. Yeah, that counts. Play-in counts.
That counts as the playoffs?
Because it's like technically like the playoff play-in. So we'll count that. And then, like injuries happen. Like you had a situation last year where Dame wasn't out and I let you pick up Ja, which I didn't think it was going to work out in your favor, but it did. So like, if there's a season-ending injury, you can replace that person right away. You don't have to wait. And we'll go. So the All-Star break is, I think, like February-ish, right? Give or take.
Yeah.
I think it's the second week of February. So you have to like the players that you select right now are the players you need to have for the first half of the season. And come All-Star break, if you need to make a change, like if someone's not like producing, you want to drop somebody and pick somebody up, you have to wait till the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't like if your second guy is dog shit for the first half of the season and he's not injured, you gotta keep him. You just gotta ride it out. So, but if someone's out for like 2 months, it has to be like an extended period of time that they're gonna be out for, where you can switch that player, or pick someone else up. So
similar to IR in the NFL.
So, to what?
Similar to like the IR, how they have in the NFL, like a long time.
Yeah, if a person's out for the season, yes. If they're out for like 2 months, yes. If they're out for longer than a month, then you can have a reserve player if you want to.
Okay.
But we'll figure that out. If someone gets hurt, we'll figure out, length of injury and all that kind of good stuff. But I think it's pretty simple. And then we total up the points end of the season for starters and the bench guys, team records, those will be the tiebreakers if we need it, which we probably won't. Anyway, I haven't decided what I want you to buy me when I win. Like bottle of something, we'll figure that out. We have until freaking May, June to figure
midway
that out.
Point is when we'll announce. Midway point. So like around that whole trade deadline,
the trade, our imaginary season trade deadline. Exactly. We'll figure it out. So, do you want me to rattle off my team?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't,
and I'm not changing mine for everyone out there. I have it set in stone.
Okay. So I don't think that we will have anybody that's the same. Last year we both had who was it? Tim Hardaway Jr. on our bench. Yes. So I don't think we'll have anybody that is the same. I can see us having one player that's the same. Just one. Team wise, I definitely think we'll have one team that's the same.
We both had Clarkson last year, and he's kind of starting now.
Clarkson, yeah. All right, so starters. I have, and I said this is how I did my starters. Now, I said 2 like top tier players, and this is where you got confused. 2 top tier players, like 1 all-star, guy, consistent all-star, borderline top tier player maybe, and then 2 like role player type of guys. Okay. Now our bench guys maybe not necessarily have to be bench guys, but they're like, bench guys in terms of like they're like low on the totem pole right now, but they can be all-stars eventually, top tier players. So we'll iron out all these rules. We'll put it in writing at some point. We'll do all that. So my 2 top tier players got Luka and LeBron.
God damn. Okay.
Did you pick Luka?
I had 2. I had, if Steven choose, I'll choose someone else. So I have a second.
So I picked both of them last year. And even though LeBron was out for a significant amount of time here and there, still came back and put up 30. He had 50 points, whatever. So Luka's pretty consistent. So I'm happy with that. So Luka, LeBron, my all-star borderline top tier player. And this is what I think you might have, Brandon Ingram.
Wow. No,
you don't? Okay. Because we've been talking about him a lot in the offseason.
We have.
For different reasons, but, I thought maybe you'd have him. So This guy, my next guy, my role player guy, I think I might be trading, but depends on how the season goes for this team. Um, Bojan Bogdanovic for the Pistons. So
Okay.
my man's gonna put up a lot of threes because they don't really have a 3-point shooter, and I know he's gonna get a lot of looks. He might go like 2 or 3, 4 games and only have like, you know, 10, 12 points a game, but then he'll drop like a 30 pointer in there every now and then.
Hmm.
So I think he's gonna get a lot more love. They brought him in for a reason, obviously. So I think he's
Yeah.
gonna get a lot more love, and they got a lot of good, you know, guards in there to get him the ball, and they'll be in the paint a lot. So I think he'll get a lot of look. So I got him, and then my last guy, my role player guy, Andrew Wiggins.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Wiggins isn't going to get a lot of points, but in like that role player spot, along with Bogdanovich, like he'll get those 25-point games every now and then,
Hmm.
probably more than you think.
Hmm.
So Luca, LeBron, Brandon Ingram, Bogdanovich, and Andrew Wiggins are my starters. My
Okay.
bench guys are, again, they don't have to be like necessarily guys come off the bench. I got Paolo Banchero, who I think is going to
Okay.
average. He looked good last night.
He
I watched the
did.
highlights. I think he's going to be good. And I got your boy Kyle Kuzma.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got Kuz. I got Kuz. I think the Wizards. I think the Wizards are still going to not be that good this year, but I
Hmm.
think Kuzma. Um, I think him, Bradley Beal. I think that team can be pretty solid, and I think he'll probably maybe end up being that second scorer. Still not going to be like a 25-point game guy, but like I'll take 16 to 20.
Yeah. So the only one we would have had the same would have been Luca,
Okay.
but I had like a if maybe not.
Yeah.
So for everyone out there, if you haven't noticed, I'm a Grizzlies fan. I was honestly gonna go with Aldama, who was power forward there, but then I realized Jaren Jackson's injured, Dylan Brooks is injured. So the points that he got last night, I don't really know if that's gonna continue or if
Not
it's
gonna be a
because
thing.
everyone is injured. So my starters, the two superstars, John Morant
Yeah.
and then Giannis are the two
Yeah.
starters I have.
I was
And
going back and forth between LeBron and Giannis. I think Giannis is going to play more this season, but
yeah,
I don't know. I always go with LeBron, obviously.
I've always just so Giannis was one that I never wanted to choose, but then I said no one can really stop him going in the paint. Like it's damn near impossible. So I had those two, and then my all-star, because he's not at that point yet, and I had to get a lot of validation from Steven on a lot of these. Jalen Brown. He's in the middle
Ooh,
ground.
okay.
Yeah, because he's not that
Okay.
superstar Jason Tatum is,
Oof.
and he's in there. And I looked at it; he's very similar to DeMar DeRozan. So that was kind of what I ended up doing
Mm.
with that. The next one, and I also got verification on this
Yeah.
one too, is Halliburton for the Pacers. The Pacers are not a good team, so that's kind of when I had to factor in that one. So I have Halliburton as well, and then for the center, this is the kicker. I don't know how it's going to go, but Christian Wood. So,
Okay. I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about that.
and my thing is, I don't know if they're going to ease him in. JaVale McGee, there's no goddamn way in hell he's their real starter. He's probably just their 10 minutes. All right, you back on the bench.
And Christian Wood's in a great spot
Yeah.
with that team
So
because
that's,
they lost Brunson.
mhm.
They need that guy to pick up those kind of minutes and those kind of points, and he can do it on both ends. But since we're just doing points, that's all right. Good pick.
And so
Damn.
he also, and the thing is, he was the center position because I was thinking try and stay somewhat in positions. And then also with him, I didn't realize he shoots some damn threes. Like he's not your legit center all the time. He'll
Mm-hmm.
shoot threes. Now my bench, because I tried to do it the same as I did last year, just bench players. Malcolm Brogdon, and if you've seen the
Ooh,
show before, I've chosen Malcolm Brogdon like
ooh,
as potentially someone off the bench. And then the other one, I was going between two because they both should not be off the bench. They should be starters, but due to their situations, they aren't. I was going between Colin Sexton and Jordan Poole. And I ended up going with Jordan Poole
yeah,
because he's off the bench, but it almost doesn't seem fair because the
yeah.
Warriors just have so many players right now.
That's pretty solid.
So yeah, so the ones I have, and knock on wood, hopefully all their injuries are out the way. John Morant, Halliburton, Jalen Brown, Giannis, and then Christian Wood. And then off the bench, I have Malcolm Brogdon and then Jordan Poole. I went back and forth with this so many times. The people I considered that were also out there, Luke I had, DeJounte Murray I had, DeMar DeRozan. It was either going to be Giannis or Pascal Siakam. And then it was going to be, I know. And then I had Karl Anthony Towns.
That's a huge either or, my guy.
It is.
That's a big either or.
Because the toughest part is that point guard shooting guard area, like having a small guy. Because point guard is the dominant position now. It's not shooting guard like it used to be. There used to be a legit shooting guard, and it's now you just run the point.
Yeah.
Who are your teams?
All right. From the East, I got the Celtics, and I got obviously the boys in Detroit. I got the Pistons. Pistons did not make the playoffs last year. Obviously, the Celtics did. I think the combo of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I think thanks to the year that they take that next step and, you know, keep climbing that win total mark. So I got the Celtics and I got the Pistons. Western Conference. I think you're going to have one of these teams. I got the Grizz. I got the Grizzlies. Did you pick the Grizzlies? I knew you would.
Well, keep going. This is what scares me.
And I got the Lakers. Did you pick both teams?
Those are the only two you could really choose.
Yeah.
Like because that's why I kept asking, do play-in games count? Because that's what throws it off, since you have like 10 teams that are all in it. So it's really the Lakers. The Kings aren't doing it. The Thunder aren't doing it. The Rockets aren't doing it. So I said the Lakers. Yeah. And then I said, all right, you know what? There's only a couple where they're gonna finish. And the Grizzlies will kind of be up there. The Warriors will be up there.
Third to fifth range, depending on how Ja Morant plays.
But you want, and the whole thing about the challenge Steven did with this is you want the guaranteed wins, and you can throw in like the asterisks of, all right, however many they're gonna do. So it's just like last year, we both chose Jordan Clarkson, and it became the other one that ends up doing it. It really depends on how the East does.
Yeah, I'm not surprised if we both picked those teams from the West.
I know.
I mean, we can keep them and just use the East as the tiebreaker. It's easier for me to keep track of record-wise. It's easy for me to do that.
If you want, I can choose the Clippers. They were technically like right around the same spot, and then they didn't make the actual playoffs. They made the play-in game.
You can pick after tonight because the Lakers and the Clippers play each other tonight.
Exactly.
So you can pick after the game. I'll let you pick.
Okay.
You can have either team, but I'll let you wait till the game's over tonight.
Okay. So
I forget how late 10 o'clock is sports wise until the NBA season rolls around.
Yeah,
because I don't watch West Coast baseball. I don't watch West Coast hockey. Now I only watch West Coast basketball because of LeBron, obviously. But 10 o'clock is so late.
It is.
And last night the game didn't start late, or Tuesday night the Lakers game didn't start till 10:45.
Yep.
What are we doing? Like your boys can go to sleep in 10 minutes. Exactly. I think I got to 3 minutes left in the first quarter. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I like to get to halftime maybe. Ain't happening. No, sir. No,
games
sir.
take forever.
And God forbid that game goes in overtime. You're looking at 1:30 easily.
Oh my God.
If it's and the games before are usually over before that time slot. It's not like the games unless it goes overtime, the game doesn't usually run over. So if it's a 10 o'clock start at 10. If baseball is great about that. Baseball and football, 1 o'clock, the ball is kicked off. If it's a 7:05 pitch time, the first pitch is at 7:05. If that tip off time is 10:30, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do this. Fucking West Coast.
So for my East teams, I'm actually not going to be a homer. I was going to do what I did for the West, and I'm going to do something for the East just to spice it up a little. I was going to choose the Bucks. I'm not choosing the Bucks. My two teams are going to be the Cavs and the Knicks. I don't know how it's going to go. The Cavs, that's an easy one. They were in the play-in, and then the Knicks. Look, them New York teams just are not good. I don't really know what it is.
Wow.
But so that's what I have over here. So recap for the East, I have the Knicks and I have the Cavs. And then for the West, I have the Grizz, and it's an asterisk behind my LA team. And that's where we'll end up figuring that one out. So I'll write this all up in the same document we have, and then we'll both be able to like update it or do whatever.
And
After
we'll
that.
update the scores. Like I said last year, we'll do it every other week. We'll do it every other week this time around, so we can have a
Okay.
consistent update. But you gotta send me a reminder
I know.
on Wednesday to add up the scores. Your boys definitely gonna forget.
It'd be
No doubt.
great. So what I'll try and do is a way to like export it off of like ESPN and like the point totals just come. That would be dope. But just closing up everything now. So we did the NBA stuff and we got to do our regular stuff for the NFL.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that one? So the first game we can end up still doing because it's not even close to over by the time of this recording. Saints Cardinals.
Cardinals. D Hop is
So
back.
exactly, that's the same thing I thought. I have the Cardinals, Browns, Ravens.
Oh man, I don't know. Ravens are reeling, but I'm gonna go Ravens. Browns aren't that good.
So I have the Ravens in this one. Something that a lot of people need to realize about it. It's not Lamar Jackson's fault until the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
That defense just does
yeah.
something, and then Harbaugh, some of the play calls he does, I'm just like, I don't understand why you do the same thing every single time. Panthers, Bucks.
I'm gonna go Bucks.
So the only team I can end up choosing is the Bucks because Panthers, they have too many problems over there. Christian McCaffrey might be gone soon, potentially. Who knows? Bengals, Falcons.
Bengals.
So I have the Bengals in that one. Falcons are always going to be the Falcons. Tough one, kind of. Cowboys, Lions.
Oh man, Dak is gonna play. I heard.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't. I'll go with the Cowboys. This could be a high scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and the Lions defense is bad.
Bad. So they're going to have to put up points to keep up with it.
Oof.
I got the Cowboys in that one. Just for everyone at home, Steven is winning in the overall records. I'll give you guys the official next week. But yeah, he is. Most of the times I'm finishing like a game behind him. Like I look at the scores and it's always like one game behind him. Giants, Jags.
Giants. Okay. Giants.
So I have the Jags in that one. I'm just gonna keep choosing the Jags until they finally win a damn game for me.
Yeah.
Colts, Titans.
Titans. Colts are a weird team. I think Jonathan Taylor is playing. But I'm gonna go with the Titans because the Colts are too weird of a team.
Yeah. Next game, probably we have the same. Commanders, Packers.
Packers. Packers aren't looking too hot, but Commanders are the Commanders. So
yeah, as long as there's still a snitch in Washington, I got to go with the Packers.
X.
Broncos, Jets.
Bronco Nation, let's ride.
So I have the Broncos in this one. It can go either.
I mean,
way
I really want. I'm really picking the Jets, but I need to say that every time.
I know you do.
So
I
put me down for the Jets. Sneaky Jets pick, but I gotta say it. Every time I say that, always pick the opposite team.
I know exactly. I have the Broncos. They have to win sometime or another because there's too much money. One of these games they have to win, just like this next game. Texans, Raiders.
Raiders.
Someone has to win.
Yeah. Actually, not really. They can't tie.
They can tie. We've seen it before, and some players forget you can tie.
You're right.
Seahawks, Chargers. This can be a high scoring game.
It's a weird game. Neither team is like exceptionally good. Chargers, weird team. Seattle, defense isn't great. I'm gonna go with Seattle on that one. They can put up a lot of points.
I'm going with the Chargers. Homer pick for me over here. Chiefs, 49ers.
I'll go with the Chiefs. That was a great game last week. Up in Buffalo. What was up in Buffalo? Yeah. I'm gonna go Chiefs. Niners defense didn't look great last week. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
So I got the Chiefs in that one as well. This game, I know Steven's thoughts, but Steelers, Dolphins.
Man, I really want to pick the Steelers, but I'm not. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
I think this might be the first game ever that I don't really want to pick because I don't like what they're doing with Tua. And the Steelers, they'll win when you don't think they're going to win, then they lose when you think that they should lose, and maybe not. but I have the Steelers in this one. We'll
And it's
see.
prime time too. So who the hell knows what's gonna happen then?
It is, yeah. And of course, rumors
Oh
are out there saying Chase Claypool might end up getting traded. Who knows? It's all talk half the time. Last one we got Bears Pats. Who you got?
man, the Bears suck. I'm going with the Pats. The Bears offense is brutal.
So my thing on the Bears, I don't really know what the issue is. At one point, and I text you, I was like, is it Justin Fields that's the problem, or is it the coach? Same thing in Denver. Is Russell Wilson not a good quarterback, actually, or is it the coach? Because the schemes that they have are confusing. They were saying Cole Kmet was going to have a great year. Who the heck is Cole Kmet right now? So you really don't even know. Darnell Mooney, they were like, wow, you made one great catch. That's all he did. So
I think they gotta let Justin Fields like not do an RPO system, but I mean he is a pocket passer. He's not Lamar Jackson where he's gonna run for 100 yards,
mhm.
but I think he's like more so of the Russell Wilson mold where like yes, he is a drop back pocket passer, but when the play breaks down, like you need to be able to I feel like you need to like get him like on the move and like let him get outside the pocket and like make a play downfield. He's got a cannon, he's got a great arm, he can make every throw. It's just like the offensive line is not that good, so he gets blasted every single game. Who they played
Mhm.
last week? I forget who they played, but he was getting just killed in the pocket, killed.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I'm surprised he finished the game. But like I think you got to play to his strength, which are his legs, and like get him moving, and like maybe do an RPO,
Exactly.
I mean, just try it. Like you suck anyway, so like what's the big deal? Like you lose another game, who cares?
That was
And
such a
and
shitty game.
the defense is like solid, but like your offense is scoring like less than I think 16 points a game. So like
Mhm.
try something new. What's it gonna hurt you?
You're not gonna know. Yeah.
No.
So that's the big thing over there. That was one thing. Another thing, I was looking at the score. A player you never know if they're gonna have a good game or not, or how the hell they're gonna get their touchdowns is Taysom Hill. So Taysom Hill scored tonight, but it was a receiving touchdown. I never know when to have Taysom Hill and when to not have Taysom Hill because you never know what he's gonna do in any game. The other point is,
Damn. Andy Dalton is 8 of 10 for 169 yards already and two
I
touchdowns.
know exactly.
Jeez.
And other thing is that it's really it's crazy because I think the more Steven and I do this, I can start to see the teams that are going to get quarterbacks next year earlier because the Saints are probably going to get a quarterback. The Panthers, they don't like any of the quarterbacks they have right now. The Falcons are going to get a quarterback. So that's three easy teams right there. The Texans are probably going to have to do something, although they want to go with Mills so badly. That's not really going to work. That the Titans are probably going to start pushing towards Malik Willis soon. And you can just keep going down the list of what's going to happen. Then you start to think, because I was listening to him talk about Jerry Jones, how he admitted that he overpaid for Dak Prescott. Half these quarterbacks know that they're able to just scheme the system because they're not worth that money, but everyone's just going to get the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn, sounds like the quarterback's a great position to play. But before we go into what you got, I do have to give a big shout out to Dustin Hopkins.
Shout
I
out.
did not realize this man had a messed up hamstring and was kicking balls, the whole quality field goals too, and making them.
Booting them.
But you could tell he was hurt because after he kicked, half the time he would fall. And I was like, damn, some shit's got to really be up. But what you got? You got time.
I want to give a shout out to our Uber driver out in Ann Arbor. I think his name was Tim.
Shout out Tim.
So Tim gave us a ride from one bar to the next, and I said, "Are you going to be around this weekend?" Because our Uber driver from the airport to the hotel originally was like, "Yo, Uber is going to be tough this weekend because there's so many people in town, and it's just going to be all over the place." So, you know, if you can get an Uber, awesome. If not, you might have to walk everywhere. I was like, "Fuck that." So like straight up told us that. So we found the Uber driver, and I was like, I just thought like at the top of my head, I was like, yo, are you gonna be around this weekend, Tim? He's like, yeah. I was like, can I give you my number and we'll pay you like extra, like off the clock to drive us, if we need a ride to like the stadium in the morning, the tailgate and everything in the morning. He's like, what time are you guys tailgating in the morning? And I said, we're starting at like 8. So we need to leave the hotel at like 7:30. He's like, cool, done. So picked
What?
us up. Yeah. picked us up at the hotel at 7:30 in the morning, and drove us to like where we were tailgating at. And then I was like, "Are you gonna be around?" He wasn't around later. He was off doing something else, so that's fine. But I was like, "Are you gonna be around tomorrow morning to take us to the airport? Maybe." He's like, "Yeah, done." So he picked us up, I think like 8:30 or so, take us to the airport, which is like a half hour drive. So we paid him good guy, good conversations. Like that's part of the reason why I did it, because he was a good guy. So shout out to Tim Ann Arbor, Uber driver, good guy.
Shout out. So my
Shout
one
out.
and only is going to be this weekend. I went snorkeling, and then people on the boat were dope. So shout out to the people on the boat. Shout out to me for having to end up swimming through the currents to get to the place where we were in the middle of the water. It was something I didn't know if I wanted to do, but I ended up doing it, saying, you know what? I'm
Shout
gonna
out
break
to you
them
for being able to swim.
stereotypes. I know I was gonna say that. So that's my only one. I enjoyed my weekend. Back on the grind. We'll be back next week with the games, fantasy picks, and everything like that. Till next time, we out.
Peace.